Hey guys, it's Stephanie with Simarchy, and today I have a very special guest with me. Her name is Lily Mott. Lily, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
So, do you want to introduce yourself and tell them how we met?
Sure. Okay. So, a little background about me. I actually work as a performance coach. So, what I do is I guide people through their one word, is how we first met, and then kind of guide them through trying to figure out what they really love doing, and then use that to unlock their potential. And the way that Stephanie and I met was she was actually following my journey on Evan Carmichael's channel. So besides being a peak performance coach, I also do public speaking. So she was following my journey into becoming a public speaker, and that's how we met.
Yeah, and you contacted me and asked if I wanted to collab, which I thought was a really cool idea. So, have you actually played The Sims before, or did you just kind of get introduced by watching my video?
I have never, I've heard of it before. I
Yeah,
knew what it was all about, but I got to learn more about it on your channel, actually.
that's
And there's
really
like a whole
cool.
other world out there that I didn't know about.
It is. I didn't know either. I used to play this game called Animal Crossing before I was introduced to The Sims. And Animal Crossing is kind of the same thing. You have little villagers and you build your house and you build up your town. And that had a whole online community where you could interact with people from around the world and trade items and visit each other's towns. So when I started playing The Sims, I wanted to see if there was something like that, and I couldn't find anything, but I did find a community of people on YouTube that would record their videos to share them with each other. And that's how I got started. And I've been obsessed ever since. I've only been playing about a year and a half, but it is my favorite game in the world.
Amazing. I also heard that it has like the highest amount of female gamers.
I believe
Sims.
that. Yeah, I believe that. I think like 90% of my audience is female.
Yes. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I mean, it might be like maybe the family aspect of it because you can really control your Sims. You can have babies, you can build families, and I think that's really appealing. But there are a lot of men that are really great at designing and the architecture aspect of it, as well as women. But it hits on so many different levels. There's design, there's architecture, there's the family, and then there's just silly gameplay. You can torture and kill Sims, which I started getting introduced to that world with my live streams. I never kill Sims, but my audience loves to kill them.
Torture and kill Sims. Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. They always want a torture basement in every build that I do, so I have to kind of pull that back a little bit. So we'll have like a really
Oh,
fun ice cream shop on top, and then in the basement, we kill them and drown them, and it's pretty weird.
oh. So it's like, have you ever watched Dexter?
No, no, I should though.
So it's interesting because it's similar to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So Dexter was an I think it was a Showtime show years ago. So it's about this guy who's really clean cut,
Uh,
and he works for the police station, and he lives a
oh, yeah, yeah. I'm familiar with that. I haven't
yes.
watched it, but my friend was obsessed with that.
And
That's
it
funny.
takes place in Florida too,
Oh, that's where I'm
which is
from.
where you're at,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and
Where are
then
you at?
I'm in Toronto,
Oh, that's right.
Canada.
Canada. That's cool.
Yes, I'm in
Awesome.
Canada. It's a little bit cold today.
Yeah, I used to want to move to Canada until I realized it was cold, so I'm happy with my tropical climate now.
Well, we do get summer. Right now we are in summer weather, so we do get summer probably from June till September, October, which
Awesome.
which is not a long time.
Yeah, I mean it's better than nothing, I suppose. All
Yeah.
right, so I know you can't actually see the house right now, but let me talk
Okay.
about what I did. So, well, first of all, let's go back to the your one word thing. So, I didn't know exactly what it was, but I've heard Evan talk about it before. And when I very first heard him talk about it, I was like, well, that's easy. My one word is do. But then I didn't really think of it again until you sort of suggested maybe build or building, which does sound really cool because obviously I'm building literally in The Sims and I'm building a community. But still, that word "do" really resonates with me as a human being, not just as a Sims player. And so, I guess your one word is what? Just something that motivates you and influences you. I guess. How would you describe it?
Yes, it is. It is. So what we believe is that everyone has, Michael Jordan talent at something.
Right.
For you, you have found what that is, building the Sims community. So we all have that, but the issue is like we keep it hidden a lot of the times because we're not really even aware of it.
Right. I never even
So
thought about it until he mentioned it.
yeah, because we're not even, it could be something that you're already doing. And it's just basically, it has to be powerful enough for you to take action towards it.
Right.
Finding your one word is a matter of self-awareness. Is finding out who you are and what drives you.
Okay. Well,
So go ahead.
I think the reason I picked the word do then is because that really describes me. I'm I'm the type of person that kind of just dives in headfirst and doesn't really plan things out. When I want to do something, I do it, even if everyone around me is like, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" For example, when I started my clothing store, I had a really good, cushy corporate job, making $80,000 a year. I was living pretty well, but I wasn't really fulfilled there. And once I was being really underappreciated from my boss, that's when I decided that I really wanted to go start my own business, which I've always been an entrepreneur, but I had a little notebook of ideas and I just wrote down every possible business idea I can think of. Oh, there's a laundromat. Let's write that down. Oh, there's a food truck. Let's write that down. But nothing really popped up as a passion for me. It was just all sort of business ideas. And one day my sister and my brother-in-law were driving around. At the time they were engaged to be married, and they wanted to do a punk rock themed wedding. And
Okay.
yeah, so he needed a pair of combat boots. I don't know if you know, but for an actual business, I own a punk and gothic used clothing store. So we couldn't find these combat boots anywhere. And I said there should be a secondhand store for people in our community. And that was it. That was like the light bulb at the top of my head. So we sat down, we pulled out the notebook, we wrote down every idea related to that. And I'm not kidding you, 2 weeks later, I opened the store. I just did it.
My goodness.
I just did it.
Amazing. I love it. I love it.
I kept the job for a couple of months just to make sure it was okay. But, you know, everyone's like, "Are you sure you want to quit your job? You make such good money." And I'm like, "Yes, I'm just going to do it."
I love it. I love that story because a lot of people actually don't do things.
Right.
You know, a lot of us have these ideas. We have all these ideas that we think about constantly and we don't take action.
Right.
And again, it could be the fact that a lot of people are like, "Are you sure you want to do this? What if something went wrong?"
Right. How are you going to pay your bills?
Exactly. And how are you doing with that business right now?
Good.
How are you feeling every morning waking up?
Great. September is going to be our 6-year anniversary. And
6 years.
6 years. No joke. When I went into it, I said, okay, I have enough in my savings to get by 1 year. I have enough to pay all the bills at home, all the bills for the store, and, you know, cover my brother-in-law because he was helping me for 1 year. And then when that's over, I'm going to go back and get a real job again. Like, we'll have fun. We'll see what happens. And luckily, I never had to go back and get a real job.
It has been 6 years. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. But, you know, the Sims passion kind of came out of that too, because I'm literally at my store like 80 hours a week. I don't have a life. So while I'm here and there's not customers, I game. I play video games. That's what I do for fun. So I'm very fortunate that I can actually build in The Sims and play The Sims, and then I can record my voiceovers on my one day off on Monday. So I was able to combine both and be able to live out my passion and make money off of it and play video games. So I'm really fortunate.
I love it. I love it. There needs to be more people like you out there.
Oh, thank you. I try to encourage people all the time, not just for business, but for anything. You can't be afraid to just do what you want and be happy. You have to just be yourself and just not worry about what others think. That's kind of my message for the store and for The Sims.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think when I first connected with you, you were one of the first people I connected with on YouTube.
Really?
Because I've been doing a lot of stuff in Toronto. I've been doing workshops and also one-on-one meetings, but I wanted to reach other people more globally. And I thought, hey, you know, I could connect with people who are following my journey because they already know who I am. And when I connected with you, I don't know, I felt something very, you have really good energy about you.
Oh, thank you.
And I feel like I was like, it's going to work out. I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm just going to try it and see. And yeah. And then there you go. You have this whole backstory behind you that I didn't even know about.
Well,
I
now
only
you
knew
know.
you from your channel. Now I know that you have a clothing shop and that you're a doer. You're not you know, you just don't sit back and think and constantly. And that is such an issue for most people.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a blessing and a curse, but my biggest, like, my old boss used to tell me you should have like a quote that kind of guides your entire life. And mine was, I do not regret the things I've done, but those I did not do. And I really fully believe that. I don't want to be on my deathbed and be like, well, what if I had done this differently? What if I had tried this? I never want to feel that way. So anytime I feel like doing something, I do it. Like I said, I don't like the cold. So when I lived in Ohio, I was miserable. I'm from Ohio. I've been in Florida for 10 years now.
Very close to Canada.
Very close to
It's the
Canada.
same kind of weather.
Yeah.
But
So same type of story. I came and visited with my mom. We loved it. I went back home. At the time, I owned a car dealership, and I literally went back and sold off everything that I owned, including the business, took every penny I had, took my mom, and we jumped in my car with my 3 cats and my mattress in the back, and we drove to Florida. No jobs, nowhere to live, just stayed in hotels till we figured it out. But I've always just been a doer, always.
did you ever think about sharing some of those stories? I'm not sure if you already have.
No, I mean, I have a little bit throughout my Sims, because sometimes when I do voiceovers like this for a speed build, you don't want to spend 20 minutes talking about, oh, now I'm placing a curtain. So I do share a little bit, but I don't think I've gone really into depth about the store before. I try to keep the store name private just for privacy reasons, but I think everyone knows I own a punk and gothic store.
Yeah, no, I think there's something very powerful in your story because there's a lot of people who are probably watching you going through the same problem. Most people feel like there's something that they should be doing that they're not doing. They're stuck at their 9 to 5 job that they hate. They have a boss that doesn't appreciate them. And for them to hear your story could encourage them to do something different and
Yeah,
do more things versus just, thinking about it. And like you're saying that you don't want to be lying on your deathbed thinking that what you could have done. You have
exactly.
already done everything. So I think there's something really great and powerful in your story.
Oh,
I
well, thank you.
it really made me feel when I first met you, I only knew you through Sims and all your builds. And I was like, Stephanie's so creative. She does all these wonderful things. I didn't know there was a whole backstory behind you. And I feel more connected to you thinking about all the struggles you went through. I'm sure it wasn't easy, even though you're making it seem like, oh, I just packed up my cats and my mattress and I just wrote. But
No, it wasn't an easy decision,
yeah,
but I knew I had
yeah,
to. Like you said, sometimes you feel like you're stuck and you're the only one who can make yourself happy. You're the only one who could change your environment. You're the only one who can do it. You can't really ask other people or rely on other people. So I just do it. I do it. And luckily it's been all good.
yeah. But it's you. It's the reason for that is you, right? And
Yeah, I'm very
it's
motivated. I won't let anything
yeah,
fail. There's been times where, I had to borrow money or sell literally almost everything I own to keep the store going, but that's what I do because I can't fail. When I'm motivated to do something, I will always, always,
yeah.
always find a way.
And it's hard
It
work that
is.
you're going through. It's 80 hours a week that you work, which most people wouldn't,
Right. But I'd
right?
rather work 80 hours for myself than 40 hours for someone else.
Exactly, exactly. And I have I'm similar to you as well. My story is that I had a corporate job as well that I
Yeah.
quit because I wanted to pursue speaking. And I think a lot of the times I don't share my story enough. I would say, oh, well, I was doing this personal development thing part-time, and then Evan came along and gave me this wonderful offer, and then here I am. Everything is great, right? But the
Yeah.
backstory behind it was a huge decision for me. It was really hard for me to get to this point. I had to take a huge pay cut
Right.
to do this job, and I work twice the amount of hours, similar to you,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
I work 80 hours a week trying to grow my business. And also my husband was injured at the time. So we had no income coming in and I had to make the decision.
Oh,
And
wow.
same
That's
as,
even harder because you have a husband. See, I just have to worry about myself.
no, no, you had to work hard too. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't want
know,
you
but
to minimize.
I don't have to worry about those types of things. If
No,
I want
no,
to
no.
pick up and leave, I pick up and leave. But yeah, that's hard because you have a whole nother person that you both have to make the decision together. You can't be entirely selfish with something like that.
Yeah, but the reason why I made this decision is because same as you, I did not want to regret anything at my deathbed. All the
Right.
things I could have done, which I didn't do, and I didn't want to live and die not, spreading my message.
Yeah.
So,
I think
so
that's more important than money.
yeah, money is important,
Well, yeah.
but it's not the number one thing. And Yeah, no, so it's good. You shared your story. It made me think of mine too.
That's awesome.
So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. So to kind of relate it back to The Sims, I probably should have said this at the very beginning, but I wanted everyone to really understand what my one word is and what it means. But since it is due for this specific build, what I did was anytime I committed, anytime I placed a wall color or I placed an object or a window, I wasn't allowed to go back and change it. I just had to do and go with the flow. And the house came out pretty nice. You'll get to go back and watch it, Lily, if you want, but it came
Awesome.
out super modern, which is weird because I always build traditional houses, but I didn't think about it. I just did it and it worked out good. It's a cute little house.
That's so interesting. I really do want to see the house when the video comes out. So
Yeah.
why do you think that is? Why do you think it came out modern?
I don't know. I have no idea. I knew that I wanted to have water because I love the water. So I started building a pool and then I built the house around it. And since the pool was a rectangle, I think the building took like a rectangular shape around the pool. And that just feels more modern. So instead of having to worry about like really particular roofing and things like that, I just went with those triangular or the rectangular shapes as I was building.
That's interesting, right?
Yeah, it's really interesting because normally
That's
I
interesting.
gravitate the other way completely.
So how long did it take you to build this house compared to the other houses?
Pretty quick, actually, about an hour. It usually takes me 3 to 4 hours for an elaborate build, even longer if I'm live streaming. You asked why some of my live streams are so long. It's because I try to build and talk, so those could take, 4 to 8 hours to do. But yeah, it was only an hour. It went by super quick. I didn't have to think, oh, maybe this wall should be dark blue instead of light blue, because I couldn't change it. Once I committed to that color, that was it. Just had to do it and move on.
Yeah. And how do you feel about the house?
It's
The end result?
It's super cute. Like I said, it's really nice and modern. Every room has a different pop of color, which I love color. Some people call me the queen of color. I'm all
I see
about
it in the background.
rainbows. Yeah. Yeah, my little stars, my stars. So yeah, it came out really bright and colorful, really clean lines, which I do like that too. I have two tastes. I either like the really traditional Gothic Victorian type or the beautiful modern, very clean, big windows right on the beach type of look as well. So I do have two aesthetics really.
Hmm. That's interesting that you gravitated towards more of a modern look versus a traditional look because you couldn't actually change it.
Right, I couldn't change it.
Yeah,
Once I had that rectangular wall, it was there.
yeah. And that you know what? We could actually relate that to a life lesson too,
Yeah.
because you had mentioned that okay, you started building a pool,
Hmm.
and then all the house kind of went around it and it became a
Yeah.
modern kind of house, right? Whereas if you could move things around, you probably wouldn't have done it.
Right.
But like, isn't that interesting about life too? You start your plan. For
Hmm.
example, you packed up your cats and your mattress and you went and you drove and then you see how your life ended up taking shape. Maybe if you overthought the process, maybe it would have taken a different kind of route. I don't know. It's interesting
You're
to
right.
think about it that way.
You're absolutely right. That specific story, for example, I said I was a car dealer in Ohio. So one of the reasons I picked Florida, aside from it having, a beautiful ocean and beautiful weather, was that it's easier to get a car dealer's license here. So I thought, okay, that would be perfect. I'll just take, I'll be honest, I had about $12,000, which I thought was a lot of money at the time. And it
Yeah.
was a lot in Ohio. It was enough to start a car dealership. But once I got here, they sort of laughed at me and said, you know what, you can't even pay 1 month's rent and buy one car with that money here. So if I had really planned it, I might have not come, or I might have waited till I had more money to open a car dealership. And if that were the case, I would never have found my store. And this is really what I think my true calling is. I love what I do. I wasn't really passionate about cars. It was just sort of about the money. Whereas this like makes me happy every single day.
Wow. That's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you do it and a lot of the times we in the entrepreneur world, people would ask us about business plans. Should I write a business plan for 5 years and 10 years and so on? And to be honest with you, your business is gonna change. What
Yeah.
you start to begin with is going to change 5 years from now. Like, what if you went and you wrote a giant business plan about a car dealership and then everything changed,
Yeah, I
right?
probably would have been devastated, to be
Yeah.
honest. Whereas with the store, I said, okay, this is how much money I have. I had more money at the time because, like I said, I worked for the newspaper. I had a lot of money. I had double that money to open the store. So I didn't
Yeah.
think of a business plan. I just said, I have enough to pay rent. I have enough to buy
Yeah.
inventory for a whole year. That's my business plan. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and it worked out for
It
you.
worked out,
And you
luckily.
you
Yeah.
you wake up every morning loving what you do.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of funny how that turned out. I would have never thought, if you would have asked me, 15, 20 years ago what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would have said like a lawyer or or something like that. I would have never thought it would be retail, but who would have thought that made me happy?
Oh,
It
love
makes
it, love
sense.
it.
I love to shop, so I get to shop every day. I get to buy things and sell things, so it turned out pretty good.
And that's a thing when people ask me, well, I want to open my own business, but I don't know what I want to do. I was like, well, what do you love doing?
Yeah, you can
Right?
turn
Like
anything into a business, anything into a business.
yeah, yeah. And if you love what you do, you could be the best at that.
Exactly. Well, I
Yeah.
think that's a great place to leave off then, unless you have any other final words or if you want to tell us any more about your journey.
No, I think that's it. I have a question for you.
Sure.
The viewers probably can't see this, but you have a quote in the back. You have the Beatles, and then you have
Oh,
something
okay.
that I was very interested to find out what that
It
is.
is from my favorite movie. Are you familiar with Jay and Silent Bob or Kevin
I am.
Smith? Okay,
I
so
am.
Kevin
Yes.
Smith, actually, let's tell his story real quick.
Okay.
He was in film school and he wasn't really happy. He didn't feel like he was learning what he needed to learn. So he went to one of his professors and asked, if I drop out of the class now, can I get a refund? And he was like, sure, we can do that. So he took the little money that he had, I forgot, maybe 10 or 20,000. It wasn't a lot. And he went out and bought a camera and he got his friends together and he said, we're going to make a movie about us, about real people. And at the time, he was a clerk at a convenience store. So he made Clerks, which was
Yes.
picked up by, I think, Sunset Film Festival. It ended up just going really big in the independent movie community. And the famous quote from that movie is, I'm not even supposed to be here today, because he's at home. He's not supposed to be at work. I think someone calls off and they call him into work. And then at work, all these crazy things sort of unravel. And he just keeps saying, I'm not even supposed to be here today.
That's amazing. Ah,
Yeah.
that takes me back. That was a long time ago.
Oh,
That
yeah.
movie came out a long time ago.
I remember,
I
I
have
think
to
it was
rewatch
like,
it.
yeah, I was like 13 at the time. And I found the movie because my favorite band at the time, Stabbing Westward, had a song. There's like a scene where Jay and Silent Bob are leaning up against the convenience store and techno music starts playing on the boombox and Jay starts dancing. And that's Stabbing Westward. So I was like, we need to go watch this movie. So I remember my friend and I walked to the Blockbuster. We got it on VHS. We went home and we started playing it, and it was in black and white. So we're like, "Oh no, this tape is messed up." So we went back to Blockbuster and handed them the tape and said, "It's in black and white. We can't watch it." And the clerk there just handed it back and said, "Listen, guys, it's a black and white movie. Go back home and watch it." And we did, and we fell in love. And Kevin's my hero. He's a big entrepreneur as well, and he's always changing with the times. He figured out that when people really stopped paying for music and movies, the best thing to do was to give it to them for free. And if they like it, then they'll support you and go buy it on DVD or go buy a ticket to go see your movie. And that was really revolutionary at the time, and he's built a whole business around that now.
Yeah. And it's you mentioned in one of my videos that he's one of the
He's
people
my
that you
hero.
look up to.
Absolutely.
Kevin Smith. Yeah, he's a genius.
He's a doer.
So exactly, right? He just
He
did.
just does, yeah.
Yeah. So how long have you had that quote up there?
Ever since we opened the store, I have Kevin Smith quotes all over. Another one of my favorites right on the front of my counter says, if you plan to shoplift, please let us know. Thank you. People love that one.
That's really cute. That's really cute.
Yeah,
Oh, amazing.
yeah,
Amazing. So yeah, I think more people need to do like
exactly.
Stephanie.
That's the
Do you
point.
like to go by the name Stephanie or Simarchy?
People call me Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I had another question that I've been thinking of asking you all this time. Where did the name Simarchy come from?
Oh, okay, that's an easy one.
Okay.
My favorite thing is anarchy. Like ever since I was a
Knew it.
teenager, I've
I
always
knew it.
I've always been sort of, I know this sounds bad, but I've always been sort of against authority. I wanted to do things my own way. I never wanted to listen to anyone. If someone told me, no, you can't do this, I wanted to do it even more. And I just feel like as people, we should self-govern ourselves. You should be responsible for what you do. You shouldn't have to listen and, oh, my mom said I have to do this, so I can never do this the rest of my life. Like my mom wanted to be a dress designer and her mom told her there's no money in dress designing and she never did it. You don't have to listen 100% by the book. You can be your own person. And since I love Sims so much, I just combined the two words. Sims and anarchy is Simarchy.
I love it. So when I saw your name, first, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I pronounced it wrong. I said Simarchy,
Yeah, they're like,
right?
oh, you're Simarchy? No.
Yeah, I pronounced it wrong, and then I heard you introduce yourself, Simarchy. I'm like, hi. It's like I wonder if that comes from anarchy,
Yeah.
and it does.
It means
It does.
absolute freedom, and that's what The Sims is absolute freedom. If you want to make a pink couch with zebra stripes on the beach, you can do that. If you want to have a family, you can do that. If you want to start a business, you can do that. The Sims really lets you live a virtual life.
That's amazing. And I think that's another reason why we connect so well, too, because I believe in the same thing. We can't wait for other people to create our lives. You know, we have to create our own lives for
Exactly.
ourselves and live our true self. And if you want to have a pink couch with zebra print on it, fine. Why not? Right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I had the same issue too. You know, sometimes I just want to wear plaid all the time. I don't need to wear business coat. But yes, yes. I
Well,
mean, I could
great.
talk to you for hours on end,
Right.
but you know,
Well,
we're over our
guys,
time.
I'm gonna make sure to link Lily. Well, actually, you don't have your own channel, do you? Or do you?
I do, but it's a small channel. I usually use it to connect with others, but my main thing is on Evan Carmichael's channel.
Okay, so I'll link to that playlist. You guys can check out Lily and her journey. I highly recommend it. She's very inspirational. She's in the middle of her journey, so I'm so excited to see what comes for it. And girl, I am rooting for you. I love you.
Amazing. Aw, thank you so much.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. I post videos 7 days a week, plus we live stream every Sunday. And I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Say bye to Lily. Or say bye to
Bye.
everyone, Lily.
Bye, and make sure you do more.
Do more. Yes, just
Yes.
do it.
All right, just do it.
All
All right,
right.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye,
Okay,
guys.
bye.
Wait, guys, before you go anywhere, don't forget to click over here to watch new videos and click on my face when I disappear to subscribe.